Hi, I'm Michael Wargo, team pilot with Hobbyking. Today we're going to give you a little primer on how to fly off of the water. Things you need to know when you're taking off, things you need to know when you are landing. And just some basics to make sure when you do try these planes on floats, your experience is just the way it's supposed to be. This is the Tundra. We're going to fly it off the water. And we're going to show you how the little difference in trim might be. Remember, the plane is flying with something below it that is really going to weigh it down, and it's a little heavier. So what's going to happen is the plane is going to want to stay level a little bit more, which in a lot of ways is a good thing, especially when you're first testing it. But if you want to do any aerobatics or something, it's going to be a little weird throwing around these floats. The other thing before taking off that you need to understand is breaking the surface tension is not easy so the plane can go up. You are going to need the flaps to help you off the water. It's not impossible without them. I've tried it with first level of flaps and it's come up, but when it breaks the surface, it'll want to pop up real quickly, and you're going to need a bunch of elevator to get it off the lake. If you take off with full flaps, the flaps will just pull it off the water, so it's a little bit better. So I'm going to show you how that works, and then we're going to show you how to land it. We are going to land. We're going to land with only half flaps, and I'll tell you why. The reason we're going to land with our first level of flaps is because I really believe a long, smooth landing is really nice looking. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get it into the water. Check all the surfaces. Everything's working. We are going to take off right to left today. So let's line up with the right side. And I'll try and take off relatively close. Unfortunately, we're going to have to land a little further away. So we're going to full flaps. Full throttle. You need speed to get this thing off the ground. And there it goes. Now quickly get those flaps off because the plane will definitely fly funny with that. We're going to adjust the trim a little bit. It was a little tail heavy. There we go. All right, plane is flying just fine, using all the other trim settings I had from before. Let's come down towards the water. Let's just get a look at the aircraft. Now, when you do it, you need to check the CG, you need to check everything to make sure you know where it is. So we're going to roll it over to 45. And as you can see, it's just mildly nose heavy, which is just fine. And again, check the ailerons, see how they work. Let's just roll it. The roll rate is absolutely way faster than I thought it would be, that's for sure. I have flown this off the water before, so I knew it was going to be fast. Still adjusting the trim a little bit. Now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see, because I like aerobatics and they're kind of fun on the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across the lake and we're going to try and do like a point roll, see how it holds on its first point, second, a little different, but remarkably good in my opinion. This plane will loop really nicely. You know, a nice big loop always looks really nice. So as you can see, it's somewhat aerobatic. The plane is a lot of fun to fly. I personally think simply flying off the water and landing on the water is the fun part. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and set this thing up for landing now. Or maybe I should try and just do a little, like a little knife edge circle. All right, let's see what we got here. Pretty amazing it'll do this stuff. You know, with floats attached. It's a little crazy. Anyway, so now we're going to set up for landing. And we're going to go to first flaps.
Takeoff flaps.
And I'm kind of landing with the wind, just because I want to land it a little closer, but we're going to get down, hold the nose up, hold it off, and it lands. So we're going to try that again just to show you how it works, because I've done better. Let's see if we can make it a little longer and smoother. That is the flaps taking it up so fast. A long takeoff looks pretty nice too, but you got to be careful. So now, the approach has to be lower. That's the big deal. That's how to keep that nice, really pretty approach, is make sure it's a little lower. And it's down. I don't know if I need to give you this tip or not, but if I were you, I'd always make sure I have a little extra battery, because not being able to taxi this back to the shoreline would be a problem. All right, you know, many of you, you know, if you're going to fly off of a lake, flying off the water for the first time is a little nerve-wracking. This plane will take off and land on the grass. All you have to do is, I bent the rudder out of the way because I didn't want to take it off. But you should just remove the rudder because it's not going to really have any effect. It's going to drag it. So all we have to keep in mind if we're going to do this for the first time is, I would recommend taking it off with full flaps, only so you just don't, you know, do any damage to the actual floats. So anyway, here's what it looks like. And if you want to take it off for the first time and you're more comfortable flying at your field, do it that way, and then you'll be ready for the water. But watch. Goes right up. It wants to list forward, obviously. And then when we're going to land, we're going to kind of try to do the same thing. We're going to try and land it very slow and just let it flop down on the floats. Full flaps. Let it come in, but it won't do the bounce like it does with the wheels. Easy peasy.